The car continued to travel after passing under the truck's trailer. 196, 197. NHTSA's preliminary evaluation was opened to examine the design and performance of any automated driving systems in use at the time of the crash, which involved a population of an estimated 25,000 Model S cars. 198. On the 8th of July, 2016, NHTSA requested Tesla Motors provide the agency detailed information about the design, operation and testing of its autopilot technology. The agency also requested details of all design changes and updates to autopilot since its introduction, and Tesla's planned updates schedule for the next 4 months. 199. According to Tesla, neither autopilot nor the driver noticed the white side of the tractor-trailer against a brightly lit ski, so the brake was not applied. The car attempted to drive full speed under the trailer, with the bottom of the trailer impacting the windshield of the Model S. Tesla also claimed that this was Tesla's first known autopilot dead in over 130 million miles, 210 million kilometers, driven by its customers with autopilot engaged. However, by this statement, Tesla was apparently refusing to acknowledge claims that the January 2016 fatality in Hubei, China had also been the result of an autopilot system error. According to Tesla, there is a fatality every 94 million miles, 151 million kilometers, among all type of vehicles in the US. 196, 197, 200. However, this number also includes fatalities of the crashes, for instance, of motorcycle drivers with pedestrians. 201, 202. In July 2016, the U.S. National Transportation Safety Board, NTSB, opened a formal investigation into the fatal accident while the autopilot was engaged. The NTSB is an investigative body that has the power to make own policy recommendations. An agency spokesman said it's worth taking a look and seeing what we can learn from that event, so that as that automation is more widely introduced we can do it in the safest way possible. 203. In January 2017, the NTSB released the report that concluded Tesla was not at fault. The investigation revealed that for Tesla cars, the crash rate dropped by 40% after autopilot was installed. 204. In 2021, NTSB chair called on Tesla to change the design of its autopilot to ensure it cannot be misused by drivers, according to a letter sent to the company's CEO. 191. Waymo. Google's in-house automated car Waymo originated as a self-driving car project within Google. In August 2012, Google announced that their vehicles had completed over 300,000 automated driving miles, 500,000 kilometers, accident-free, typically involving about a dozen cars on the road at any given time, and that they were starting to test with single drivers instead of in pairs. 205. In late May 2014, Google revealed a new prototype that had no steering wheel, gas pedal, or brake pedal, and was fully automated. 206. As of March 2016, Google had test-driven their fleet in automated mode a total of 1,500,000 mi, 2,400,000 kilometer. 207. In December 2016, Google Corporation announced that its technology would be spun off to a new company called Waymo, with both Google and Waymo becoming subsidiaries of a new parent company called Alphabet. 208, 209. According to Google's accident reports as of early 2016, their test cars had been involved in 14 collisions, of which other drivers were at fault 13 times. Although in 2016 the car's software caused a crash. 210. In June 2015, Brin confirmed that 12 vehicles had suffered collisions as of that date. 8 involved rear-end collisions at a stop sign or traffic light, 2 in which the vehicle was sideswiped by another driver, 1 in which another driver rolled through a stop sign, and 1 where a Google employee was controlling the car manually. 211, in July 2015, 3 Google employees suffered minor injuries when their vehicle was rear-ended by a car whose driver failed to brake at a traffic light. This was the first time that a collision resulted in injuries. 212. On the 14th of February 2016, a Google vehicle attempted to avoid sandbags blocking its path. During the maneuver, it struck a bus. Google stated, "In this case, we clearly bear some responsibility, because if our car hadn't moved, there wouldn't have been a collision." 213. 214. Google characterized the crash as a misunderstanding and a learning experience. No injuries were reported in the crash. 210. Uber's Advanced Technologies Group, ATG. In March 2018, Elaine Herberg died after being hit by a self-driving car being tested by Uber's Advanced Technologies Group, ATG, in the U.S. state of Arizona. There was a safety driver in the car. Herberg was crossing the road about 400 feet from an intersection. 215. This marks the first time an individual is known to have been killed by an autonomous vehicle, and the incident raised questions about regulation of the self-driving car industry. 216. Some experts said a human driver could have avoided the fatal crash. 217. Arizona Governor Doug Ducey suspended her company's ability to test and operate its automated cars on public roadways, citing an unquestionable failure of expectation that Uber make public safety its top priority. 218. Uber then stopped self-driving tests in California until it was issued a new permit in 2020. 219. 220. In May 2018, the U.S. National Transportation Safety Board, NTSB, issued a preliminary report. 221. The final report 18 months later determined that the immediate cause of the accident was the safety driver's failure to monitor the road because she was distracted by her phone. However, Uber ATG's inadequate safety culture contributed to the crash. The report noted from the post-mortem that the victim had a very high level of methamphetamine in her body. 222. The board also called on federal regulators to carry out a review before allowing automated test vehicles to operate in public roads. 223. 224. In September 2020, the backup driver, Rafaela Vasquez, was charged with negligent homicide, because she did not look at the road for several seconds while her phone was streaming the voice broadcast by Hulu. She pleaded not guilty and was released to await trial. Uber does not face any criminal charge because in the USA there is no basis for criminal liability for the corporation. The safety driver is assumed to be responsible for the accident, because she was in the driving seat in a capacity to avoid an accident, like in a Level 3. The trial was originally planned for February 2021, 225, but is now scheduled to begin in June 2023. 226. Navia Armor Driving System. On the 9th of November 2017, a Navia Armor automated self-driving bus with passengers was involved in a crash with a truck. The truck was found to be at fault of the crash, reversing into the stationary automated bus. The automated bus did not take evasive actions or apply defensive driving techniques such as flashing its headlights or sounding the horn. As one passenger commented, the shuttle didn't have the ability to move back. The shuttle just stayed still. 227. NIO Navigate on Pilot. On the 12th of August, 2021, a 31-year-old Chinese man was killed after his NIO S8 collided with a construction vehicle. NIO's self-driving feature is still in beta and cannot yet deal with static obstacles. 228. Though the vehicle's manual clearly states that the driver must take over when nearing construction sites, the issue is whether the feature was improperly marketed and unsafe. Lawyers of the deceased's family have also called into question NIO's privacy access to the vehicle, which they argue may lead to the data ending up forged. 229. Toyota e-Pallet operation. On the 26th of August, 2021, a Toyota e-Pallet, a mobility vehicle used to support mobility within the athletes' village at the Olympic and Paralympic Games Tokyo 2020, collided with a visually impaired pedestrian about to cross a pedestrian crossing. 230. The Toyota bus service was suspended after the accident, and resumed on the 31st of August, 2021 with improved safety measures. 231. Public opinion surveys. In the 2010s. In a 2011 online survey of 2006 US and UK consumers by Accenture, 49% said they would be comfortable using a driverless car. 232. A 2012 survey of 17,400 vehicle owners by J.D. Power and Associates found 37% initially said they would be interested in purchasing a fully autonomous car. However, that figure dropped to 20% if told the technology would cost US $3,000 more. 233. In a 2012 survey of about 1,000 German drivers by automotive researcher Puls, 22% of the respondents had a positive attitude towards these cars, 10% were undecided, 44% were skeptical and 24% were hostile. 234. A 2013 survey of 1,500 consumers across 10 countries by Cisco Systems found 57% stated they would be likely to ride in a car controlled entirely by technology that does not require a human driver, with Brazil, India and China the most willing to trust automated technology. 235. In a 2014 U.S. telephone survey by Insurance.com, over 3/4 of licensed drivers said they would at least consider buying a self-driving car, rising to 86% if car insurance were cheaper.
Yes. The camcorder is out of power. That's a lot of information. I cannot remember all this. It's 6 p.m. I have to stop the video and charge the camcorder, but I could start uploading. I will empty memory card. I would just like to read it. I not understand all this. Of course, there's too many information. I think I like to read about the Google Waymo. So, but let's stop the video.